always conversating. He say I'm happy you called, what you been up to lately? I said the reason.
Because I don't take comments for face value anymore, that now I just actually like just looking to see what people are saying, you know what I mean? And it's entertaining. So today on this episode, we are gonna get into a lot of comments and what people are saying about joining construction in general, not even just plumbing, but construction in general, being a tradesman. Why wouldn't you want to be one? All right, so I've been scrolling through some of these comments and I was really interested in what people are actually saying about the trade, and especially nowadays since everything's changing so fast and the old timers are leaving. You would think it's a high paying job, it's better than a McDonald's or any of those type of starter up jobs we used to get when we were growing up, and nobody wants to do it. But you know what, before I get into that, I wanted to talk about, like, when reading comments, like, it doesn't matter what comments we're reading, don't just go off of what people say, right? Look into the comments, so that's what you're gonna kind of see me do today. For instance, people like to say, all right, if I'm gonna buy a book, right? Is the book good, or is the movie good, or even watching a movie? They look at the reviews. If it has high reviews, obviously most of the world likes it. If it has low reviews, basically they're saying like it's not even worth seeing it. But I've came across movies and books that were low in views, low in rating, and that it was very knowledgeable to me, right? Because it was what I was looking for at that time. People want to be wild nowadays. People want to be, they want something over the top, and they just don't want simple and plain, right? That's too simple and plain for them. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what everybody is saying about joining the construction industry, being a skilled tradesman, all right? First comment, why don't most people care to be in the trade? Maybe because a lot of trainers and experienced tradespeople are impatient and treat learners like that word, all right? Not gonna say it for the sake of the listeners. I don't know my age bracket yet. So the S word, if you guys are familiar with that. She's saying, or he's saying, they treat their learners like crap because they're skilled and the person who is coming into the job is not skilled. All right, so valid. That's very valid. I've been in situations where you have these arrogant people who don't want to train the newcomers. But here's what I can say about that. It's a lot more than just what this is saying, because I've been in the trade for 10 years. I've been with people who are experienced and who have been impatient and who don't necessarily like training people, but it was because they were afraid you're gonna take their job. A lot of people in this trade try to keep you dumb, okay, for lack of a better word, but try to keep you dumb so that they secure their job, right? It sucks because they want the best guys, right? So the guys that are already been in there, they're getting older, they're getting slower, and they're afraid of the newcomers, right? That is one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why they don't like to train you. So it's not necessarily it's because they're impatient and all this. It could also be just they're afraid, okay? It's a fast-paced job. Things have to get done. Money is spent every second, minute that you are on, hour that you are on that job. Sometimes you go into jobs and cases and not knowing exactly how to solve the problem, that takes time there. So imagine you're trying to figure stuff out while teaching somebody. Okay, I've been in scenarios like that. And it gets overwhelming, it gets stressful, and that's why they get impatient. Like, there's a lot going on for even, your journeyman or your foreman. It's a lot going on in their heads, right? I used to feel the same way, like, man, like, you ain't training me, you ain't teaching me this, like, you know what I'm saying? But I never really knew to what extent what was going on through their head, right? And there's a lot sometimes, there's a lot. In commercial, in my experience, it's a fast-paced place, and it's harder to train people while you're trying to get a job done. All right, but a lot of people agree with that. A lot of people agree. I believe also, and I want to say these things too, so that people who are getting into the trade don't shy away or turn away from the trade. I want to give you guys, you know, my blueprint and my lessons and tricks of the trade that I've learned going through this, that I'm going to pass along to you, that I wish I would have known. So when I see people saying like they treat them like crap, also again, most of these people, most of them, in my experience, were just afraid to lose their job, right? So that's why they're going to keep you dumb. But that doesn't just go with the trade. That's in the world too. There's all kind of people that want to keep you dumb to make themselves look smarter. You always got to be on top of that. You always got to, that shouldn't be a reason for you not to pursue something. That should be more of a reason for you to do it, because now once you get over that stepping stone, I mean, in just a trade, now when you go out to life, you're going to take that same attitude out there and you can go even further, right? These little things that if people are reading this and then they just take it for face value and they say, oh man, that's what it's like, I don't want to do it. Like, you're missing opportunities to better yourself. So I personally, and this took me a while for me to learn. Like, I didn't just learn this off the back. Like, it took me years to learn this. I'm still learning, you know what I mean? So, but I understand now, and I'm in a whole different, better place. But I did apply what I'm telling you guys, as far as like, just keep going, just, you know what I mean? If it's something that you're into, you like using your hands, you like building buildings, you like the way things work and connect and come together, then the trade is for you. You know what I mean? So yeah. That's what I got to say about that one. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that one. All right, so next one. Maybe if they paid more and didn't expect 22-year-olds to have 8 years of experience. I feel like he's saying two different things, because first of all, if it's 8 years, and you wouldn't know how much you're getting paid until you got in there. So he's saying that you got to have 8 years of experience. So basically, when you sign up for these jobs, there are some that you have to be qualified, and you have to have a certain amount of years of experience before you can qualify. So, and usually if you have 5 years of experience, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be low. So when I see a comment like this, he's saying basically he's 22 years old, and if they paid more and if they didn't ask for 8 years of experience, you wouldn't even know how much you're getting paid unless they offered you the job. And usually if they're saying 5 years of experience, then that's not a service job. I'm pretty sure it's more on the construction side, where they start you off pretty good. Or either you got the job and you know how much you're getting paid, then it's too low, but then you wouldn't be saying that you couldn't get the job because you didn't have 8 years experience. So I don't know what he's saying. It's kind of contradicting on that. Next one, that's because all these trades are expecting everyone to already be skilled before they even start. It's too much pressure anymore to even bother trying when they're just going to trash talk you and treat you like dirt. No wonder the trades are dying. They're expecting you to be already skilled. That just depends. Yes, they want you to be skilled because it costs a lot of money. A lot of money for somebody to go out there and act like they know what they're doing. Because, I mean, it's time and material all day long. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And if you don't know how to operate or how to install the material and all this other stuff, then you're going to be wasting a lot of money. You know what I mean? So it's important to be skilled. And now she's saying they're expecting you to be skilled. There is a apprenticeship. There is ways to learn. I feel like we're in a generation now where people just feel like they're entitled to stuff. Go learn it. No one's expecting you to be skilled. You signed up for a job that asked for skilled people, I'm sure. If you didn't have the skills, why did you apply? So there are opportunities. Like I didn't know anything. I was green before I got into the trade, and I learned through the apprenticeship. That's how I learned everything. But I didn't learn because somebody taught me. I kind of learned as I went. I kind of learned over the years and kind of picked it up from different people. And yeah, it's you're bumping the wall all the way through, but if you can hold on, if you can get through it, you're going to learn the trade and you'll be skilled enough, right? But if you don't want to do the apprenticeship and you just want to make some money real quick, you want to be skilled, because there are opportunities out there where you don't have to be a skilled tradesman, right? And you can make a decent amount. Especially nowadays, there are opportunities where people are teaching you And I definitely will be teaching people as well, like, skills that I learned. And on this channel, I'm teaching people little things that I've learned so that it can help you be more prepared, right? But it's out there. You can get skilled. You can find the skills. You don't have to be that skilled. If you are green and you let them know that, but you're willing to learn, you're willing to get out there and take it seriously, like, you will get the opportunity you're looking for. I know it's a lot of pressure sometimes, but there are people who do trash talk you, and there are people who actually help you. You'll just get around the right people. If you just keep going, you will find that right match, that right foreman who's going to train you and keep you next to him, man. When I got into the trade, I was with my foreman. I think it was my second job, and I got with my foreman, and I was with that foreman 3 years. 3 years. I didn't know anything, and he knew a lot. He could knock some stuff down, but I was on top of it. Everything he asked for, I got him. And so that's kind of how I worked it, man. If you go out there and you working for them, people aren't just downright just, oh, you just get out of here, you don't know nothing. Like, they know you don't know nothing. But are you willing to learn? Are you willing to get out there and do it? You know what I mean? And once they see that, they will help you. I don't think the trades are dying. I think even from reading these comments, there's a lack of information on the trades, right? They don't teach you this in school. They don't really talk about it, right? I didn't even know about the trades like this until my cousin had got into the trade, and all of a sudden he was telling me about the trade, and I'm like, I didn't even know they were doing this. I would have gotten this a long time ago, man. I would have been so straight if I would have just known about it. He did tell me 2 years before I got in, but still, when he told me, I didn't actually go into it and figure out what it's all about until I was left with no choice, and I felt like, all right, cool, I gotta figure this out. And man, it was an opportunity of a lifetime for me, for sure. Instead of training, they just fire you in one day. Yes, I've seen people get fired in one day. You know what? That does happen, but not often, not often. It's a first impression thing. The first time you get out there, you are going to be judged. And that's anywhere you go. You meet somebody for the first time, they're watching you to see how you are. And if you do something to the point, like I have a story, like there's a guy that came on this job. He was a temp agent guy. He came on the job site, and he actually poured, it was a machine, they asked him to go fill it up. It was like a lift, and he put gasoline in the transmission fluid. It was finished floor, and he messed up the whole floor and the machine, right? Possibly the machine. I don't know if it was actually broke or not. They could have fixed it, but possibly the machine. But the finished floor was like finished. So it was one of those things where it was just like, you've only been here like an hour. Can only imagine what else you're gonna do. This is already gonna cost us. You cost us money before you even made anything, right? So it's like that type of thing, like, I can understand it sucks, but at the same time, it's like, all right, cool. Sometimes you just have to, you make a mistake, that's what happens, but I guarantee you, if you keep on going and this is what you want to do, you will be in a better place. Not all places are like that. We cannot just say, plumbing is just, that's how they are, cutthroat, and as soon as you mess up, make a mistake, they're gonna throw you out. No, I've made plenty of mistakes. I don't think I ever got fired, but maybe like, push me to like another foreman or something like that. But at the same time, man, the other foreman was better. So I learned a lot more. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes, and that's just life. You know what I mean? Like, we can't blame everything on the jobs and the companies. We have so much opportunity, but if we look at the negative parts of everything, then we'll actually kill off all of our opportunities. Most people don't truly realize how crappy you're paid in these industries for the actual amount of work you put in, unless it's your own. Do I feel like I'm underpaid for the work I put in? The work can be hard, right? But also there's times when the work is super easy and you're like, man, they're gonna pay me to do this? Like, it goes hand in hand. It's not straight, you get in there and you're shoveling for 5 years straight, or you're doing something. It is not that crazy. Like, people put way too much on it. And see, and this is why I say, like, you cannot put this magnifying glass on one of these comments and then judge everything, the whole industry off of that, because that's not what it's like. Sometimes you're like, man, and then if you got the help out there, things aren't easy. the industry is not perfect by far. There's still a lot of things that can change and can make things easier, and it doesn't have to be as hard as it is now. But I mean, different people think differently, and so it takes people like the new guys that's coming in here that sees the problems and comes in here and actually tries to make a difference. Hey, this wasn't working, can we do something else? But we have to be that change, right? You have to be that change. Instead of training, they just fire you after one day. Okay, a lot of people talk about the training. It's not oh, they should train and that's it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And from my personal experience, like, people who say they want training, like, don't really want it. They want to make more money and do less. It's not like they want to do more and work and go to school and have to go to work more. Like, they don't want that part. They just want more money. So if they think school equals more money, okay, let's go to school. That's not how it works. I went to school. I went every day. There's a lot of people who dropped out. I think we started off when I was in my class, 34 people, and we ended up graduating 7 people. So that shows you, even in that type of situation, most people don't really want it. They say they want it, but they don't really want it. And it's crazy because there'll be situations where they need the money, but they don't want to put in the work. And that right there, I wouldn't train you either. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Companies are willing and some aren't. Also, some people are willing to go to school and some aren't. But like I said, there's opportunities and there's out there for you to go to school. So you can figure out where to go to school. You can figure out how to get the training. If you really want to do this, it's out there. It's because you need years of experience to start. You are forced to be overworked and underpaid just so you can get 2 to 3 years experience for an apprenticeship. That's a lot in that one, but let's talk about it. It's because you need years of experience to start. You don't need any year. I had no experience at all in construction. Had none at all. And I got in there and I learned as I went, right? And yeah, it was crazy because I didn't know like a lot of the tools. I didn't even know like basic tools and I wouldn't say basic, I just didn't grow up with like learning tools and stuff, right? So there's a lot that I had to learn, opposed to someone whose dad grew up, they were plumbers and this and this. Like, of course they're gonna know a lot, right? That's just how it goes. But that right there is a false statement because you need years of experience. You don't need years of experience. Maybe for that company, but not for every single plumbing company. You are forced to be overworked and underpaid. There are some companies that take advantage of you. There are some people that take advantage of you. Yes, but you have to know your rights. You have to know what you signed up for, and that's pretty much how that goes. But like I said, I've been in this 10 years. I've seen people do people wrong, companies do people wrong. I've seen companies go over and beyond for their employees. So that's also a false statement, based off of one company. One company doesn't speak for the rest of the company. You know what I mean? All right, so, and also, just so you can get 2 to 3 years experience for an apprenticeship, are forced to be overworked and underpaid so you can get 2 to 3 years experience for an apprenticeship. Yeah, I don't know what that means. And you're not gonna be an apprentice, you're gonna be a journeyman when you journey out. Depending on what path you decide to take in this industry, you can go many places. You could be an architect, you can be a project manager. Like, people like this stay in the worker mentality, and that's how because they only see, oh, I'm just going to be working for these years. There's so many other opportunities in this in the construction industry, okay, that you can take. So it's not just one. Pay workers more than $15 an hour. That's, once again, if you're not skilled and you're going out for like general labor, that's what they pay. All right, last one. How is someone supposed to learn if you give them a day? How about give them 2 chances? Be patient and teach them. It just depends on who you're talking to. It just depends on who you're working with. A lot of factors. They're saying basically, you know, they got onto a job and they're like, you ain't trying to teach me nothing. And then they kick you off of the job, like we talked about, that one day thing. And they're wondering like, man, I don't get no second chances, I'm just learning. That's probably that company. They are bad companies with bad models, and that's just a bad company. I'm telling you, man, I've worked for companies that I felt like they can do better. They can do better. And I stayed there because I thought that that's all there was. For some reason, I didn't look out. I was just staying in this one type of construction, and I was like, this is the best I'm gonna get. I ended up moving, and it gets better. It gets better. There are different models, there are different bosses, there are different owners that actually care for their employees, right? So there's opportunities out there. You just have to be willing to step out and find them. All right. So, and I'm telling you from my experience, like literally, I thought, man, this is it for construction. This is all it is. And there's a lot more to it. I just wasn't willing to put in the time, the work, and the effort. And I was too scared to step out. Sometimes you're gonna have to, you really love what you do. There are employers that actually want you, and you just have to find them. I believe we all have I believe there's somewhere for all of us, but I'm a believer. So I feel like, you know, when we're talking about like Exodus and Genesis, God had them always moving, always going to new places, and always discovering new things in like physically and mentally in themselves and what they see. Man, it's always, you have to go out, you have to put yourself out there, and you can't be afraid. Step out there. If you want something, go out there and get it. All right. That's just one company. I would tell that person, try another company. There are good foremen out there. I've worked for good foremen. I worked for the worst foreman. I learned from both of them. Okay, up until this day, I learned from both of them. Now I am a foreman. So now I take what I've learned and I try to be the best that I can be. I feel like if a person really wants it and I see that, they don't have to know anything. They just have to be willing, and I will teach them. Willing means it's on your own. You show up on time because you want to be there. You asking me questions because you want to learn. That's the type of person I'm willing to give extra time for, my own time for. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just kind of how it goes, but not everybody's like me. All right, man. So I hope you guys got something from that. I tried to go through these questions. I love going through this. I love hearing people's comments, man, because you know, we read comments all day. In this day and age, that's all we do is look at other people's comments and make our opinions based off of what other people are saying. Do your own research. Don't even listen to me fully for face value. Just do your own research. We all live our own lives and we see life from our own perspectives. I can only tell you so much from my experience. You have to add that other half that only you can add by putting yourself out there, deciding what you want to do, knowing what you want to do, take what you want from all this stuff that I said and apply it. If it resonates with you, apply it. Construction isn't for everybody. Construction isn't for everybody. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Neither is being a musician, neither is being a doctor. It's not for everybody. No profession is, right? But if you're called to it, you feel like, man, I want to do that, then it might be for you. You know what I mean? Like if you can erase what everybody else is saying and actually ask yourself, do you like building buildings? Do you like seeing, you know, you like working with your hands? You know what I mean? If that's you, then construction might be for you. You know what I'm saying? Look at the comments, get it, but go with what you want to do and give yourself the chance to grow. It takes time. And one thing I could tell you guys is a tip that it's not easy, but man, it feels good when you get through something that's hard, right? You're just like, man, I got through that. What else can I do? A lot of us don't give ourselves that opportunity to really grow and to really see our true strengths. We usually back out of it, read comments, decide not to do it, and now we're trying to figure life out for years and years until we come right back to where we started and we realize like, oh man, I should have been did this. Why did I even listen to these people? Thank you guys for watching. This is Life in Plumbing. If you are interested in the trade, you want to learn how I did it, I'll give you step-by-step guide from this guide right here. Don't be green. So if you guys like what I'm talking about today, I've got many videos like it. Make sure you guys click one of these videos here and let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace.
Me and my God always conversating. He say I'm happy you call, what you been up to lately?